let's take it straight to one acquisition that has been announced by Cenoris Pharmaceuticals. That's Apnar Pharma, 100% acquisition for 91 crore rupees. Let's take it straight to the management, the promoter and MD of Cenoris Pharmaceuticals. Swapnil Shah joins us now on NDTV Profit. Swapnil, always a pleasure to speak to you here. First of all, the rationale of Apnar acquisition?
Apnar acquisition is a very strategic acquisition from the Cenoris journey standpoint. So there are a couple of rationales. So number one is we can move our products that are manufactured in the US, which can still be done in India at a lower cost. So that's going to be cost arbitrage for us, which will be manufactured at lower cost in India, and it can free up the capacities in the US, which can be used for a higher margin business as we speak. So that's one rationale. The second, the strategic rationale would be will be accessing a lot of mid-tier regulated markets like EU, markets like Brazil, markets like Canada, and so on and so forth. With that, what happens is we already have about 70 odd ANDAs at a different stage. Most of them are approved. Some are at different stage of filing. We see tremendous opportunity of these products also in those mid-tier regulated markets, wherein there are customers who already have reached out to us over last couple of years in terms of wanting our products in their market. So once we start making it from this facility, those market accessibility will also be there. That's about the total business size or market opportunity for our products upwards to about $4 billion on that side. And with the India facility, with the complete analytical support, a lot of support we can provide to our US manufacturing,
right,
with the FDA approved facility that we have. So we see tremendous value, adds a lot of our expertise in the marketplace, and then kind of enhances our reach across the board.
All right, so Swapnil Shah, it's also about product expansion, your geographical expansion, cost arbitrage, and having a larger play. So that's the rationale. How will all this boil down to the numbers, the top line as well as bottom line? And is it EPS accretive from the very beginning? Because 3 of the 5 ANDAs that you've acquired are going to be live immediately.
That's correct. So I think the way we look at it, it's a pretty value buy for us in terms of what we have paid and what the market opportunity lies for us. Usually for such kind of acquisition, it takes a year or two to kind of scale it up to actually start generating a serious revenue for us, for you. Essentially what happens here with this particular acquisition is 3 products are already validated, and out of them 2 are already being sold in the US. So that immediate business from day one that we can start from that particular site. And
yes,
all these three products are quite decent in terms of competitive landscape, in terms of where we stand, where we are today. Plus this 5 product basket that we have out of these 3 can also go into government business. So we will qualify our US site for those 3 products, and we'll start selling into government business as well. So all in all, if you look at it, day one revenue from the acquisition site that will come. Products can go into US and again can be sold into government channels. We see about 120 crore of revenue in FY27 from this plant coming in, and with about 250 to 300 million units capacity, installed capacity they have, which can be extended to about 400 million in multiple shifts. Even if I consider a bare minimum 4 or 5 rupee per unit realization, we're looking at 250, 300 crore revenue coming in from just existing infrastructure in FY28 onwards.
All right, so that is a good projection that you've given, but you've also taken debt of a large part of the 91 crore rupees that you have taken for this particular acquisition. So over 70 crore rupees will be debt. How does it leave you in your debt equity position, and what is the total debt after this acquisition and the acquisition financing?
Yes, so there are 75 crores is not pure play debt. So there are multiple components of that 75 crores. Net debt is long-term debt is only about 35 crores. The remaining 40 crores is other liabilities in terms of there's some promoter loans are there, there's some ECB loans are there. So they are not largely interest bearing as we speak. So at opportune time, those cash flows will be made, generated, and paid. So all in all, if you look at it, it's a long-term interest-bearing loan is about 35 odd crores from that acquisition. So that's very comfortable. From equity debt standpoint, we are at about, for this also, we are about 0.2, 0.3 in terms of where it stands and what we have paid for. And overall, on a console basis also, our debt equity ratio is well within 0.4, 0.3, 0.4 levels, much below 0.5, which is our threshold that we have considered or we have mandated across the board that we will not cross at any given point of time,
Right.
0.5 of equity debt portion. So very
Right.
comfortable from that standpoint.
All right, net debt to equity, very comfortable. A very quick answer on pipeline of products as well as your outlook on CDMO segment, very quickly.
Yes, so we have about 8 commercial products on CDMO, CMO, 24 strengths correspond to those 8. We have another 24 odd products that are different stage on CDMO, CMO. Every quarter we are launching 1 or 2. So very, very busy launch calendar for us
Right.
this year, next year, at least for next 18 to 24 months. So looking at about 8 to 10 quarters, as we speak. So very busy both on the CDMO, CMO. On our products also, we have 46 approved ANDAs, which is pretty sizable for our
All right.
size company.
All right, so that was the chat I had with Cenorus Pharmaceuticals on the acquisition earlier in the day.